Welcome to my Shop with Dr. Ver series, where I help you make better choices at a store.
The average American consumes 17 teaspoons of added sugar per day. That's more than double the recommended amount. And we all know that added sugar is bad for our health. It contributes to inflammation, it compromises our gut and immune health, it causes skin aging. Companies have come up with many alternative options like these, but are they really healthy for us? Let's take a look. So first of all, when considering sugar, you want to ignore the marketing claims. All of these sugars are essentially the same. So cane sugar, even if it's organic, will still spike your blood sugar. Organic raw cane sugar, the same, it will spike your blood sugar. So the only exception is coconut sugar, which I like. So it has a lower GI index, which means it spikes your blood sugar less. And what I like about it is that it actually has less fructose, and I will explain later why fructose matters. This is a good option if you're baking. Now, the other thing you want to avoid is high fructose corn syrup. This is commonly found in syrup, and extracted fructose in high amounts is bad news. Fructose can only be metabolized by our liver, and it can contribute to things like fatty liver, altered blood sugar control, and altered lipid metabolism. And I'm only talking about extracted fructose, by the way. For example, in syrup, I'm not talking about fructose in fruits. Fructose in fruits is not a concern. And there is one syrup that's often touted as being healthier because it has lower glycemic index, but it's full of fructose, and that is agave. Agave is often touted as a healthier option, but because it's high in fructose, this is a no from me. Number 3, avoid artificial sweeteners like these. Even though they do not directly increase our blood sugar, they've been found to lead to high blood sugar anyway because they may affect our gut microbiome. And this one has also been found to be associated with depression. So stevia is a popular option, and I like whole leaf stevia, which is unprocessed. But most of the options you find on the shelves are processed and extracted. So for example, this has been made into a white powder because it's extracted and possibly bleached. It's a good option because it's organic, and the only ingredient is organic stevia. But a better option would be to look for a green powder, which is a whole leaf that's dried, ground up. And when you look for stevia, it's important to look at the ingredient list, because when you turn the label over, it might include things like natural flavors, which you want to avoid. So look for pure organic stevia powder like this one. And stevia extracts in liquid form like this also works, but read the ingredients because it can also contain other ingredients like natural flavors. So take this one, although it looks good, USDA organic, when you flip it over, it says natural flavors, which I try to avoid. And I quite like this one, which has added inulin, which is a fiber, and silica, which is actually good for your hair. Now, how about monk fruit? This is also very popular now and has been in the Chinese culture for a very long time. Now, it's intensely sweet, and that's why oftentimes you'll find it mixed in with erythritol, which is another non-nutritive sweetener, which I'll talk about later. But the erythritol is acting to bulk up the monk fruit so that you can use it as a one-to-one substitute for sugar in your baking. If you can find pure monk fruit sweetener, that's not a bad choice. But the erythritol is a sugar alcohol, which means that it can cause digestive issues. Erythritol is much better than the other sugar alcohol popularly found called xylitol. Much controversy over erythritol because a recent study showed that high blood erythritol level was associated with an increased risk of a heart attack or stroke. The jury is out on erythritol, and I personally would continue to use it. However, if you have cardiovascular risk factors or if you have digestive issues, you may want to rethink this one.
And if you're looking for erythritol, make sure you look for organic because it can be made from fermented corn.
These are also healthier sweeteners, so date syrup, maple syrup, and also blackstrap molasses. Blackstrap molasses actually contains iron and minerals, so I really like this option. Maple syrup can also be a source of some minerals, and date syrup has lower GI index and some antioxidants from the dates as well. And if you're not vegan, honey could be a good option as well. Honey also contains antioxidants and some beneficial compounds. Now, all of these will still spike your blood sugar, so it's to be used in moderation. Now, my favorite way to sweeten food though is with real food. So instead of date syrup, I actually make a date paste. Overripe bananas, you know, the bananas with brown dots on them, they're also a really great way to sweeten your food. Just mash it up and put it into your baking.
And there's some early studies to show that they may affect our gut microbiome.
Now, the thing with these non-nutritive sweeteners is that even though they don't spike our blood sugar, they can still stimulate the reward center, and hyperpalatable foods overall can still lead to an increased overall calorie intake. So these are not a free-for-all. They are better options. They don't spike our blood sugar, but should still only be used in small amounts.
Like, share, and subscribe if you found this video helpful, and stay tuned for the next episode of Shop with Dr. Viv.